Hello, welcome to our new media literacy series, Edit Delete. This is the final episode in our three-part series that looks at how we can handle the different ways media can influence us.
We all know that the media is everywhere.
Have you ever thought about the media you use?
I may have really thought about it.
In this series, we're doing just that.
We're looking at all the different types of media we use every day.
In this episode, we'll be looking at what to do if you see something you don't like.
We are especially going to focus on gender.
And the subliminal messages we're getting all the time about how we should act.
First up, let's look at some of our ideas.
About how media can influence gender.
And how we think about media.
That surrounds us.
We're looking at a few other statements, like the exercise I was kind of talking about beforehand. So everybody gets two colours. So yellow is for you agree with the statement, and green is you disagree. And you'll see what you think. And there's no right or wrong. It's more about to kind of keep the conversations going. Girls and boys know when they're born if they are a boy or a girl.
I think it's just in the first couple of years, as you're a kid or a child, you still kind of discover yourself. Mm-hmm. And even though you're told everything, you're forced to be a certain way. I think it's just your mindset really, what you feel if you want to be a boy or a girl. So I think that's what's changed over the past 10, 15 years, even 20 years. Just people's mindsets have changed. Kids feel more like they can choose who they want to be.
Okay.
And younger people, so I don't really agree with the statement that they know for definite that they are a boy or a girl.
Yeah.
So I think even though they're told that they are, their mindset's different.
Uh-huh. Boys are better in technical stuff than girls. Do you agree or not agree? Don't agree, y'all don't agree? Why do you not agree with that?
That's just stereotypical. It's just girls dance and clean and boys are mechanics and go to the gym and stuff no, or technology or whatever. It's not true.
Why is it not true?
Because a girl can do it. A girl can be a mechanic if they want or whatever, and a boy can dance if he wants.
What do the other think?
Different people are good at different things. So if a man can do it, why can't a woman not do it? And the same as well, if a woman can do it, why can't a man not do it?
Uh-huh.
A gender doesn't define how smart you are or what you can and can't do. Just because you're a girl doesn't mean you can't be a mechanic, and just because you're a boy doesn't mean you can't cook. So, stereotypical, as Saoirse said.
Mm-hmm. Stereotypes, yeah. A family is made up by a dad, a mom, and children. You all disagree. Why do you disagree?
Because you can have two same-sex parents and still be a family.
Okay, so you can have two moms or two dads?
Yeah.
Why do you disagree?
Same reason. You can have two moms and you can have two dads.
Yeah. Any other?
I think a family is just what you make it, really. You don't really need to have parents. Families, you can make whatever you want. Your friends can be family, just as long as you're together, really. That's what it is. The same, obviously same-sex parents, still be a family.
Mm-hmm. Or if a family falls out or someone passes away, your nanny or whatever, who you're living with could be your family,
Absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't even think families have to be just human either. I mean, your family can be, my dog's part of my family. So she's very much a family member, but she's a dog. So it's I always see older men with dogs, and I think that's his family then. It could just be him and his dog, but they're a family, So it's we're not just restricted by just being humans, I think animals can be, and we're their family as well. It works both ways.
What about this one? Girls are supposed to look pretty and to be looked at. Do you agree with that, or you don't agree? No, everybody disagrees, okay? Do you want to tell me a little bit more?
It's kind of I don't know, it's just stereotypes for girls. They always have to look pretty and you don't.
Still a bit of a stereotype and a pressure, to kind of look a certain way, yeah.
It's if a girl doesn't wear makeup, she's lazy and she doesn't care about herself, but if she wears makeup, she's fake. It's just Doesn't make sense at all.
Next up, we have
A little drama.
I'm so sick of doing all this makeup.
Yeah, I know. Sure, fellas have it so easy.
They just have to put on a bit of links and they're ready to go.
I know, could you imagine if boys had to do everything we had to get ready?
Apply fake tan.
Apply lipstick.
Apply eyeshadow.
Apply mascara. Fix your eyebrows.
Smell great.
Sort out your hair. Oh, come on, look happy.
You're going out for the night. That's good.
But sure, we can only try it.
Now it's time to go back to the streets.
And see how you think media influences stereotypes about gender. What was the last thing you posted on social media?
I probably want to retweet about the Euros, the terrorist attacks in Euros. Just I think it was about how the terrorist attacks are getting bigger and bigger, and how the threat is getting bigger. But just to stay safe, several techniques on how to stay safe in France, like for Irish fans.
Photo of me and my friends.
I have no idea.
Selfie.
I don't remember.
Be yourself and you can achieve.
Probably would have been a photograph myself.
Pictures of my trip.
Are there certain roles that we only see men and women doing?
They wouldn't have like a political job. It'd have to be like just in fashion or makeup or something.
It's sort of hard because back in the day you'd see women who would be just housewives or knitting or editors. You know, women used to be film editors because they're able to knit, their dexterity. You know, they're very good dexterity. But nowadays, you see women playing Gaelic, you see women playing football. Do you know what I mean? Boxing, Katie Taylor. It's changed nowadays. But if I was seeing any roles nowadays, I think women in power. They'd rather be the only ones in a place. Like I was seeing the other day, like Jodie Foster was talking about how women in power are the only ones who want to be in power because they don't want any other women like progressing over them. I think that's sort of an element nowadays.
Always seem to be doing the dishes.
It's all yeah.
Like, come on, men can do that shit too.
Are there different expectations given to men and women?
It kind of depends though on your mindset and how you see things, but from the media's point of view, then yeah, they definitely do.
No, not really. I think nowadays, we're all treated equally. I hope to think we're treated equally anyway.
I think sometimes women are expected to do more and have everything and be everything because they have so many different roles, but like men are kind of like, you can just do that.
Yeah, I think there's more
It's a bit
pressure on women
one-sided,
to
like
kind of have everything, have their career and have the looks and have everything, and men are just like, they've got the brains or they've got
they
the
could just do
looks.
like a game, like be work and then have play games at home, like it's like, you know, it's a bit one-sided.
Now we're going to meet Tara to find out more about Sphere 17.
Here I am back with Tara Coleman from Sphere 17. Hi Tara.
Hi Lauren.
Why did you get involved in your work?
I could talk a lot about why I feel that it's really important to support young people, and that I got involved in youth work because I wanted to be a support in their lives. But I think the real reason underneath everything else is that I enjoy the company of young people, probably more than the company of any other age groups, is that I do this job and I got involved because I love it.
Do you feel youth services make a difference in teenagers' lives?
Yes, and I think the longer I'm doing this job, the stronger I believe in that. I genuinely believe if young people come into a youth service and get to know the youth workers, that they realise that they have this like extra support in their life, and I think that can be sometimes can make real changes in their lives as well. Yeah. So I suppose I'm going to ask you a question, Lauren. So it's really good for us to hear about why young people come into Spear 17, because we have this thing that they'll get support and stuff. But I suppose just like why do you come into Spear 17? What's it like for you?
I feel it's fun, and it's a place where like you're not sitting at home bored. You can talk to Tara, like you can talk to you, but you can talk to Sive or any of the youth workers. And
so it's kind of for you. It's like the big thing for you is that Spear 17 is a fun place to be.
Yeah.
And when I'm at home, I'm usually bored.
Yeah.
So when I come to Spear, I'm not.
It's something to do, and there's all the activities, and you can have a laugh.
You can have a laugh.
Yeah.
I think most young people say that they just want to come and have fun.
So I like talking to the youth workers. It's good to come here.
Brilliant.
And if you have a problem, you can talk to anyone about it. If you want to set back, it'll be set back. If you don't want to set back, it won't.
So it's kind of like trust.
It's
really
trust. You can
important
trust
for
the
you.
youth workers.
Yeah.
So you're not.
Go on.
You're not worried about the youth workers talking about you when you don't want them to.
Yeah.
So
it's really good for us to hear that, Lauren. Yeah. Super. Well done.
Thanks, Tara, for talking to me again.
Thank you, Lauren. Yeah. High five us. Boom.
Now for a commercial break.
Next up, we interviewed Louise Clennon from the National Women's Council of Ireland
To find out a bit more on the topic of gender.
Hi Louise, thank you for joining us today. Would you be able to tell us a bit about the organisation you work with and some of the projects you're involved with?
Sure. I work with the National Women's Council of Ireland, and basically we work to campaign for women's equality in Ireland. So to get women's access to work, so that they have financial and economic independence, and equal rights in terms of healthcare, access to housing, to political roles, a whole host of issues, even around violence against women and domestic violence in the home. So we campaign around women's equality really broadly.
In which way do we see inequality here in Ireland? Do religious beliefs play a role?
Yes, yeah, religion does play a role, and like our constitution, but like we've talked a lot about 1916 in the last year, and how there was women involved in 1916, and a lot of people have been saying that some of the leaders of the movement were, you know, really strong feminists, both the men and the women. But then when Ireland came into being, Eamon de Valera got involved with the Catholic Church and really relied on the Catholic Church. So right from the inception of our republic, the Catholic Church were like totally embedded in it. And they wrote, like women were allowed to sit on juries, but then they took that out. And that became illegal. They instituted the marriage bar where women weren't allowed to work after they got married. So they weren't allowed to sit on juries. Lots of things. They put in the constitution that women's place is in the home. And so like I think all of those things have been really negative for women and have developed a culture of seeing women as private rather than public citizens. And we can see the impact of that everywhere.
Does media today still portray gender in a particular way, and are there particular stereotypes that are being reinforced?
The media is a big issue, I think, in terms of gender equality in Ireland. There's television, there's radio, and there's print. And there's different ways in which they sort of tell the story about men and women and through the news. Very often, if you look even at the cover shot of a newspaper. You know, women tend to, they say sell papers, so very often there's a woman on the front of the paper. So women can be used to add some colour to a paper and to the news. And we've done a lot of research even around radio and how radio features women and shows women. And basically in current affairs, 75% of the presenters are men. So only 25% of the presenters are female on our 3 kind of biggest national radio stations. So there isn't a lot of female voices in strong authoritative roles or like acting as presenters in the radio. And then like even if you look at all the different newspapers and how they treat women in different ways, there's quite a range of different treatments from, like if you look at the tabloid newspapers, like they have Page 3, and that like is saying something completely different about how maybe a picture of a female politician might be presented. So I think we have to look at all of those things and do an analysis of it and question maybe why there isn't men Page 3s and, you know, men aren't shown in their undies. So yeah, I think women are treated in a different way by the media.
And do you feel like social media also has an effect on women as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing in our work that we found, that are the young women that we researched or surveyed. I think like basically the number one thing that they said that had the biggest impact on their body image was social media. There's a huge reliance on airbrushing to make people smaller, thinner, smoother, browner, and that's not good for women's self-esteem at all. And then also there's a different culture on social media. There are things that we'd say to each other on social media that we wouldn't say to each other in real life. And I think people can sometimes get quite cruel and harsh on social media. And then also there's another element of it that you only ever see your best self or someone's best version of themselves on social media. So you might take 50 selfies, but it's the best one that you'll stick up, if any of them at all. And then you have to get loads and loads of likes, which makes you feel good. But like it's a false reality. It's not a real world. It's not a real place. And there's just there's a hyper emphasis on appearances on social media that I think is really dangerous.
And would you feel men are affected the same way or less so?
This is something as well that we asked the young women in our workshops, and they definitely felt that the pressure is mounting on young men, and that, you know, there is this new move towards like bigger muscles, tanning, grooming in terms of hair removal and waxing your chest and all that sort of thing. And they were definitely saying that they do think that the pressure is now coming on men also. But they really felt that there was, that as the pressure mounted for men, it also mounted for women, and that men were starting at a lower base. So that things were just getting progressively worse for both genders.
Well, this is the end of the video. Thanks, Leah, for coming on actually as well.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks.
It was great to get some more views on the topic.
Let's go back to the streets to find out more of your ideas.
Act like a man.
Run off there now and be a good girl.
Do you think media still reinforces stereotypes for men and women?
Not so much anymore. In the beginning, a few years ago it did.
I think it still does a bit. Like, men are still supposed to be strong and women are still supposed to be fucking emotional.
But you still see more like trans and gay people, and
you
like you still see like people coming out more.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you'd see it nowadays in ads like Hugo Boss and whatnot. You'd see girls being utilised for their bodies, and you'd see them with their bikinis on, say boohoo.com and whatnot, you know what I mean? But there's actually a very interesting ad, links. They're just saying how you don't need a six-pack or you don't need nice hair or anything, you know, you had links are grand, you know what I mean? I think that's the sort of thing the message is going to say, you know, body types don't matter. It's all about personalities and whatnot. Yeah.
Like men have to be this perfect, muscular, handsome man, and then the woman has to be skinny and perfect and like a Barbie doll. So yeah.
It's sort of whatever's going. In other words, there's what they call this zeitgeist. That's what they tend to go along with what's the general view.
How do you think social media or technology has had an impact on relationships?
Social media has really had a great impact in my life and in the social media, because the last thing that I was overwhelmed when I met one of my friends in Ghana on social media. It brings a lot of happiness, because even though she is in Africa, but I get a chance to connect to them and say hi to them. So it has been a very great.
I think it's a big thing because I play for a football team, and we post on the page when on the football page when we're going for matches and stuff, and where we have to meet. Or say if I'm going out with friends on a night out, they'll say, instead of saying online like where we meeting and all that, you know. So social media, like, it's big on my social life. I'd use it mostly every day. You know, it's cheaper as well. You don't have to spend money on credit or that. You know, you can just text your friends on Facebook where you're going tonight. You know, so that's also very handy. Yeah.
Puts pressure on. Sometimes puts pressure. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep contact with people that you don't really see very often, but as well, then, you know, people can get the wrong ideas because someone likes your photo or whatever. Like
misunderstandings.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't pay much attention to it.
Well, it has, because the art of conversation, what we have now, is gone due to media now. You mean, you look everywhere now, and you get on a bus, you walk along the road, and people are on, kids and adults and old people like myself, they're on the phone, they're texting. Like, people don't speak to one another anymore. So the art of conversation has now died in this country, because people don't talk, they don't discuss things.
It's had a huge impact on relationships. People overthink and they get jealous of, like, oh, if my boyfriend accepted a girl, what am I supposed to think of that and stuff.
I think what it's done is brought people who are distant to you geographically much closer, and so you get an ability to communicate much more quickly and effectively, rather than to wait until you see them in person. So I think it helps strengthen relationships that otherwise would not be strengthened.
This has been the final episode of Edit Delete.
We love our media, film, Facebook and Snapchat, and it's important that we talk about it and think about it.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.